Good morning and welcome to MotoGP and the afternoon practice session. 60 minutes on the clock in order to determine who's out there in the top 10 of qualifying. Green light and 58 minutes on the clock. We are 35 minutes delayed due to rain and oil spill on the circuit from the Asia Talent Cup. We're underway now with the riders out there on the circuit, and the first lap times are just beginning. Juan Mir with no time set, about to head out there on the second bike on the HRC squad, and then we're all good to go. This is an important hour. Let's over to TNT.
Here for Honda and Juan Mir. As he goes out onto the racetrack, let's have a listen to Davide Tardozzi down in pit lane. Nat was talking to him just before this session got underway. The talk, of course, about Pecco Bagnaia and where we're at. He was second quickest earlier.
Davide, you were hopeful yesterday that something you were trying for Pecco today would work. He was P2 this morning. How happy was he with the feeling he was getting?
Yeah, it's obviously much better being second. He gave him another kind of attitude. Obviously, he's smiling at least. But anyway, there's still some small problems to solve, and I guess that everybody in medium this morning doesn't face the fastest possibility of the bike, because the soft will be much faster this afternoon. So we'll see which kind of problem will we face with this tire.
In other news, we now know that Mark's season is finished, but also he's not going to make the Valencia test. How much of a disadvantage does that put him and Ducati in as we head into 26?
Yeah, it's obvious that it's a shame not having his feedback about the news we will bring to the after-race test in Valencia, but we know that he will be there with us, he will share the data, he will stay with us, so Mark is Mark, and we are not worried that he will start the season here in Malaysia next year.
You've had Michele on the bike, obviously. Do you stay with Michele? Is it Nicola Bulga? Will he be part of the consideration? Where will you go for those last two races?
Yeah, I think that Michele is doing some development or trying to collect some data for Gigi and the engineers here in Malaysia, and we'll see what it's going to be for the next two races. So we will decide after the test of Bulga, and if Nicolò will be happy to join us, maybe we'll consider to have him on the last races.
Thank you, Davide.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good to hear. We've heard about Nicolo Bulliga performing a test with that bike, but it would be fascinating if he were to race it as well, because that was part of his new deal, wasn't it, with the Ducati to get a few test rides. And I suppose Michele Pirro's 39. They sort of need to start looking at a succession plan, and I'm not saying that is Bulliga, but what my point being is they'll also find out if Bulliga is going to be race fit for MotoGP.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was aware that he got a test at Jerez, and that's something that he's asked for. Basically, I was sort of told that he was offered the last two rounds, and he said, I'll only do it if I have a test. I don't want to go in without having a test, which makes
never ridden a MotoGP bike.
Which makes total sense. So that's basically where they're at. So he'll do the test in Serie Fields, and if he doesn't want to ride it, he doesn't have to, which makes total sense, because obviously he's got his World Superbike contract for next year. He's got the 5 tests next year where he can build himself into it. And
just ask Alvaro Bautista, former MotoGP racer, when he came across. I know he's a little bit injured, carrying something of an injury at the time. When he came in for a couple of races, and it was on a hiding to nothing, and it looked even worse than it really was.
Yeah, and it wasn't as it wasn't as important for someone like Bautista, who was never wanting to come into MotoGP. But for someone like Bulliga, if he comes and has 2 really average rides, it definitely affects his stock value. It just does. It's the reality of the sport.
For me, Aldeguer started well. I've noticed, Michael, they've all gone out on the soft tyres front and rear. Do you feel like this is a bit of early time attack, just get a couple of bankers in, because we're already into the 58s?
Yeah, 58.2, some 7/10 under the race lap record. I would say this is banker territory. Make sure it's a fast first flyer with these fresh tyres in, and allow for the potential rain clouds, because they will roll in fast when they arrive here in the late afternoon period.
on board with Raul Fernandez. How do you see the Aprilia working around here? You know, I think it's done all right here in the past. It's a track that's got a mix of everything. We can't read too much, can we, into where we were at testing compared to now, because the bike looks like it's changed a lot.
Yeah, it has definitely changed a lot. You know, I would say the Aprilia should work really well around here. If we look at the tracks that it's worked well on, side by side. The two different lines through that part of the track, that was interesting. Looked like Fernandez tried to V it, and Zarco had the corner speed line. Aldeguer's on a decent lap. I mean, he's already set the fastest lap time anyway. Fastest this morning, and it really bodes well for him. We know he's good on tyres. This is one of the tracks where you have to save your tyre a little bit. We're going to have an Aldeguer weekend. He's on the right package. We know the 24 Ducati works really well around here. And like we said right at the beginning, this is the first track he's come back to. So he's got experience on riding, having had the 6 days of the pre-season test here.
Hey, it bodes well for him going back to tracks next year, doesn't it? The way that he started here this weekend. A little bit of track knowledge, and already finds himself right up there. Out of the final corner, through that negative camber, turn 15. No improvement on this lap. It's Aldeguer from Bagnaia in second. How significant is that?
Yeah, Bagnaia in second, so it shows that the bike's working. Then two Hondas, they're going well. Well, actually, no. Digi's just popped up to third, and it's Luca Marini and Joan Mir.
Yeah, then Alex Marquez in sixth place. Alex has got a good record here across the classes. Podium a couple of years ago. So keep an eye out for Alex. A lot of people have him as their favourite, actually, coming into the racing weekend. And as you said, you had a bit of an Alex Marquez feeling.
Yeah, definitely I've got an Alex Marquez feeling. Just a quick question, just because I don't know the answer. Have Yamaha committed to say we will, whatever happens, we are running the V4 next year? No, okay. I was just thinking then, do you know what I was thinking? I'm like, it could be a really long year for Fabio Quartararo if they decide to run the V4 and it's off the pace.
Look how low that back of that bike is. That is as low as you can go, and it's still pumping.
Yeah,
it's still not right. There we are. Look at that. Wow. Also, the swing arm is quite an interesting cutout right across the middle of the swing arm. It's sort of under-over kind of thing.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So that makes it adjustable.
Yeah, they can see all the mounting points where they can add bracing to it, so it's good to actually test without having to redesign a completely new chassis. Add rigidity to it, see if it improves the torsional stiffness on acceleration. Obviously, you need the lateral stiffness, or flex, should I say, at angle to get it to turn, but you don't want too much, and then it twists on braking and on acceleration. So yeah, it's a fast way to analyse, and obviously shows clearly it's still very much in the test and development phase.
You were talking about that, weren't you? Torsional stiffness.
But they're saying the high car on the way here.
That's all you kept talking about.
I said I'm really concerned about Yamaha's new chassis because you know you need the torsional stiffness.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great that they've got that. They can adjust it on the fly. That wouldn't be something, Michael, though, they'd run. That's just to get a direction. It's not something then that would, you know, oh, look at that. They've got a new way of fitting a frame to a motorcycle.
No, it's for speed and ability to actually adjust that flex throughout the race weekend and test periods. Yeah, we've seen them do it on their inline 4 as well, and yeah, it's good because obviously you typically change it and it will improve one area, but then you'll have the negative effect in another. So actually just figuring out and calculating how much flex they need in there, and the data that's gathered from it allows them to go back and analyze it and look at it from every single angle.
That was wrong. That kicked, didn't it? There. Was he coming down pit lane? I don't think he was.
No, I don't think so. What? When will they have to make a decision then? Would you think, Michael?
They said. Well, sorry. They said in their press conference that it wasn't going to be until after this, basically.
After Valencia, though.
No, after this.
This test.
Yeah,
but then the decision will be made.
That'll be internal, but technically, by the rules, they don't have to make a decision until day one of Thailand next year. So when you go out in free practice one, that's you signed up for the season in terms of your engines.
Yeah, so you'd feel like it would have to be after the Valencia test when this man's done another full test on it.
I mean, in terms of concessions, they would be able to change engine, wouldn't they? Throughout the season.
Yeah, that's
the problem
true,
they had this year was gearbox, wasn't it? That they'd made the, you know, they'd already taken the aero that didn't fit, and they'd already taken, well, the way they had the gearbox sorted out didn't basically fit with the new bike.
Yeah, and you nominate your ratios, and obviously those don't work across from the V4 to the inline floor, so it's not a possibility. But yeah, you could allow for that next season, although they do not want to continue manufacturing two individual projects side by side.
Yeah, it sounded, to all intents and purposes, like we are going V4, but you know, when we get into this stage now, they talk about the first seconds are the easiest to find, and then the final tenths are the hardest. I'm not saying they're a long way off. It's still early in the project. Still, the factory riders haven't been able to give it a proper go. But there's not that much time, is there?
No.
Really?
No, there isn't. There isn't.
And it's
they've a lot
expensive.
They have a lot on, haven't they?
But the main aim is 2027.
Yes, it is.
That's the long term.
Yeah, and that's why. But you know, I was sort of thinking out loud. I'm like, it could be a really long year for Fabio Quartararo. That's what I'm saying. It's like the bike could next year could be a second off the pace, and obviously work in progress. Where now, what would you say the Yamaha's off the pace? Race pace in reality, 0.3.
I was half a second. I was going to
Yeah.
say. It's the way it dropped back as well. So Bagnaia back in. Everyone's had a little stint at the start, trying to just avoid the possibility of if there were to be rain later.
What do we think's the worst manufacturer at the moment? Like who would you say? I was trying to think then. I'm like, well,
Yamaha?
Yeah, it's a tough moniker to take on board, but I would put it on Yamaha's.
Do you know what? I only say that because I feel like Quartararo's making the difference and getting the results. Like, in the championship, he still sits in 9th place. So, but I don't know. I feel that's down to him, whereas top Honda is Zarco in 11th. Had the win earlier. Luca Marini's 13th, Mia's 15th. You know, they are all ahead of then Jack Miller, Alex Rins, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah.
So
I was just trying to, just like say, but then you feel like with KTM, Pedro's making the difference a little bit.
Yeah, but then Pol Espargaro's getting the odd result.
That's right.
Bastianini's had the Maverick
nearly won Qatar, yeah.
Brad Binder was 4th.
You'd have to say Yamaha, really,
Yeah.
right now. But what's nice about this year is it's all come much closer, hasn't it? I mean, obviously that was what the idea of the concessions would hopefully achieve anyway when they first came out. So, yeah. And that's why I said that I asked the question then, what do you think the inline four's off now, as in lap time, on average, per race, between 0.3 and half a second, and with...
And off goes our television signal for the first time today. It's always a nice thing to do. We believe TNT have gone down, actually, because it's not actually our main monitor system that's gone off. Oh, okay. That's simple enough. Looks like there's a Wi-Fi issue that needs to be corrected. So that is one thing. Luckily, though, we have the ability to join back up them quite simply with a few presses of the button. Let's head back down to the track.
How many people?
A lot.
On that, you know?
We've seen a lot of people do that.
Jack Miller told me earlier, he was saying, just braking in there. Clearly, I'd pulled on the brake too much, so I tried to release it again, and then suddenly I'm over the top of that little camber, and the front's gone. There we are. Thank you. Frustrating. It is a tough one, isn't it, Michael? But the track's been designed specifically to offer a challenge, really. It offers drainage, it offers a little bit of challenge, slows the speed, it does a few things in one.
Yeah, I never liked it, though. I've got to say, I remember Jarno Cifelli doesn't do many things wrong, but he's done that wrong, in my opinion. It's just, for car racing, I think it works, but for bikes, an off-camber entry and apex to any corner, and a specifically designed one, would not be done through choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Just looking at the speed trap times, so we've got Bastianini, he's the fastest on the KTM, He's gone through 336 kilometres. And then I was just looking at the fastest Yamaha inline 4 is Miller, isn't it? So he's only 3 kilometres down.
And it was same, you know, in Phillip Island, wasn't it?
In the engine to the
Yeah, it wasn't
engineers,
bad
and
there.
they know
It wasn't
they
bad,
need to
was
give
it?
them
So-
more horsepower.
So that's
Exactly.
the roll onto the
And-
straight, though,
Yeah, but
that you get.
when you watch the overhead shots from the helicopter, it's visual,
Good stuff.
and that's what the Raiders will obviously feel, and they'll be just coming in, absolutely lambasting the engine to the engineers, and they know they need to give them more horsepower.
Exactly. And you end up, you can see that way, you've got nothing to fight with the corner. And also, it's at the early development of that V4. They don't want it blowing up, do they? If they can avoid.
It's a bit of a stoppy for Joan Mir down towards turn 1. Second
Ex-
quickest at this stage.
I expect to see more of that next year with Top Rack.
With Stop Rack.
I'm sure we'll see a few.
3-time Superbike champ now. Can't wait. Cannot wait to see him on a motorcycle. While we're watching Pedro Acosta out on the racetrack, still to win a Grand Prix. Of course, his old rival, Fermin Aldeguer, has already done that. He's top at the moment. Let's cross over to the Grassini team boss, Michele Mazzini, who's down in pit lane with Arnott.
Yeah, we know Fermin has cited how important it is to start a weekend well. We heard that after that win in Indonesia. I know it's only been one session and a little bit, but certainly all the early signs are good for Fermin.
Yeah, for sure. This is so far the strongest Friday of the season so far for Fermin, because it's not easy for a rookie coming to the weekend. Also, here we have the advantage to test in the winter pre-season. 5 days they shut down the official test. So I think that he still put together all the knowledge that he reads until now.
Someone else who did well in that test was Alex. Had a strange crash at turn 7 earlier this morning, didn't he?
Yeah, we at the beginning of on the first run, he finds a strange feeling with the rear tire, so we decided to change it, and he feel more better. But unluckily with the crash, now we have to continue to improve, because we see that in some sector, in two sectors, he's faster, Alex, but we need to put all together, and for sure the first target is always to go straight to the Q2.
Thank you, Michele.
Yeah, no major concerns at the moment for Alex. It was a funny crash, wasn't it, at turn 7 earlier today?
Yeah.
An odd one. You don't see many crashes in there.
No, you don't. I put it down to the track being a bit green.
Yeah.
He'd been through the first 2 sectors faster than anyone else. He was pushing like you would normally push, but the track wasn't ready for him to do it, and that's why I think he crashed in a strange place.
Only a couple of riders out there, just being joined now by Michele Pirro and Francesco Bagnaia. Pedro Acosta it is. He's over the top, down through turn 5. That's a change of elevation down the hill there. Little crest that you ride over through 6. This is where Alex Marquez crashed earlier, into the double apex right. Pedro watching his young rivals winning over the last couple of weeks, Raul Fernandez and Fermin Aldeguer. Imagine that's lit a fire underneath him, as if that wasn't burning bright enough anyway.
Yeah.
His desire to win a race, but
That would smart watching your younger rival, certainly in Aldeguer, but also then seeing the win last time out.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Those 2 riders who've won. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about Manuel Gonzalez or people moving into MotoGP, and you know, to get there, you could have to displace someone. And the riders who were being talked to displace weren't Fermin Aldeguer. Some people were saying that Aldeguer, they weren't sure whether he was ready for MotoGP. And Raul Fernandez was on his way out, and yet they both won in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, that's why it's difficult, isn't it? Now, if you're a Spanish rider coming up, unless you do something really, really impressive, you're going to struggle to get a ride in MotoGP.
Acosta only 11th. It's not looking easy for the KTMs here.
No, who's top KTM? Is it Pol?
Pol, intense, yeah.
Wow.
I just wonder if they soft the tyre in again. They've been talking about this chatter problem that it's been generating. Of course, Pol himself will have done lots of laps around here, but we mustn't take anything away from the way he's performed when he has stood in this season. He has been nothing short of excellent.
Yeah, and if you think how he sort of, let's say his career came to an end was after that huge crash he had in Portugal, and then he came back, and he was not quite on the pace, but I'm sure he wasn't 100% fit. And
He wasn't.
A decision had to be made about who was kept and who had to go,
And you know,
yeah, it was the right decision. It was the right decision to get this man on your bike. So, but I mean, how old's Pol? Like 32, is he? 33? He's not that old.
no, he is. I'd say he's 31.
But had a decent career anyway.
Oh, 34, my apologies.
Never
yeah.
been slow.
A couple of years older than Mark Marquez. They came through sort of similar amounts of time. See that big dark cloud?
I was going to say, that
back.
looks darker than I was expecting.
As I say, rain was forecast. The thing you have to look out for here is the wind. Watch the palm trees in the background. When they start swaying, they're not really doing too much at the moment, but when they start just whipping around, you know it is just around the corner.
Yeah, just check the forecast and it says it's raining.
Right here, right now.
Right,
yeah.
right now, which is sort of sums it up.
It can be. The airport is the other side of the runway from where we are now. There's a motorway, then the runway, then the main airport, and it can be raining, you know, there and not here. So localised.
Like, if I was a team manager now, I'd be getting my rider in and put another new tyre in for a time attack.
Yeah, well, I wonder whether that's what they were doing with Acosta here, but.
Yeah, we've not seen many medium rear tyres out there so far in this session. Morbidelli's the only one currently, so I think everyone's still looking for that ultimate pace here.
Is that a wobble?
Again?
Yeah.
In a weird spot.
Strange. On board with Francesco Bagnaia. Last lap was a 2-minute. His first flyer.
That turn 2 where he's just gone through, that's the worst corner on the track. Just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel natural at all.
Well, ask Jorge Martin about it. Ask Marc Marquez about it. Over the years, he's bitten the best. It's a niggly, horrible corner. I mean, the apex is on a sixpence, and it drops down a hill at the same time, while you're also trying to get the bike. Then you go right, left, trying to get it back onto the right to attack through turn 3. It's not nice, is it? And this lap's off here for Pecco. Still running third though. Important first lap's in. Around the looper of 10 through 11. Dropping down the hill here now. Kink of 12 is a lovely part of the racetrack. Get this shot from behind. Oh, it's not the wide one. The wide one shows how it flows nicely. And then this floating corner, the iconic 13 into 14. 10 years on. You might have seen the documentary, you might have seen the repeat viewings it's been given this weekend by MotoGP on their website, on YouTube. Go and have a watch of it, because some interesting things looking back. 10 years since the Sepang clash. That feels like a crossroads moment in this sport.
Yeah, it's definitely the most talked about incident that there's ever been.
I'm not saying anything about it at this moment in time.
Did you watch it back though, or did you not bother? Yeah.
All that still strikes me at the whole thing was just right at the start of it. The press conference is the start of the story. The whole thing for me before the race that there was 10 years ago, and that we all thought, I was sat in the room, and we all thought Valentino was joking about it at the time. Genuinely, I think Marc Marquez did. You can see him laughing, and then it all became very serious when it got to the Sunday. The bear was poked, I think. Integrity was challenged, and then the rest, as they say, is history. There we go again. What's going on, Michael?
Oh, I do not know. look, it's already starting to weave in the first pump, and then he comes off the curbs and it just continues, but he doesn't have to roll out of the gas. It pulls itself out of the weave. But yeah, we were talking about it the other night. It is reminiscent of Marco Melandri in the World Superbike days at Ducati, and he couldn't stop the weave down certain straights. But we have never seen it from Pecco Bagnaia before this season.
Yeah, but and why has it only just appeared
over the second part?
Actually, after Japan. It wasn't weaving before Japan at any point.
No, it's true. I can't remember seeing it earlier in the year.
Not one time.
Well, we've not
the first time I saw it was Indonesia.
Yeah. We've not got the heat-treated tyres here. It's not like, you know, we're dealing with the high temperatures that... track temperatures that we were in Indonesia. Well, we will, but they don't have the heat treatment here.
No.
It doesn't get the battering in quite the same way as it would around Indonesia.
Yeah, they have brought a slightly harder compound, both on standard construction rear tyres, but a little bit stiffer in terms of the compound. But yeah, that's not a scenario that we had in Indonesia with the heat-treated tyres possibly being laid in terms of the blame for the instability that was befalling Pecco Bagnaia there.
Well, we didn't have it in Australia, did we, of course?
No.
It was stark there. I expect even scarier in Australia. Not only the fact that you get to higher speed still, you roll out of that final corner that bit quicker, but also you got crossways about 30 miles an hour, so you can imagine even sketchier. I'm at a loss to explain it all. Still got the 24 aero package on the front of that bike.
Well, no one's been able to explain it, have they? So Pecco can't explain it. He doesn't want to talk about it. Obviously, Davide Tardozzi doesn't want to talk about it. GG doesn't want to talk about it.
Definitely the 24 aero spec. We can see that much as the replay shows us. Is he using the same forks that Mark's?
No,
no, he's got different ones on
since
them.
Motegi, he's gone back to the older generation, shorter front fork, and stuck with them, which Ducati didn't quite want him to do. Everyone had moved on to the latest generation, but
you can see just that Michele Pirro's running the 25 spec aero with the little step inside the front wing. Fans still supporting his man up in the grandstands. Let's get back out there. Not quite sure in terms of the imminent threat of rain, but that'll be one of the topics, won't it?
That'll be on the riders' minds.
That lap from Aldeguer, though, you know, that's a solid marker. Ayagura's having a decent start to proceedings here. He's always gone well around Sepang.
I love his style.
Currently up in 13th, ahead of Raul Fernandez. There's obviously a good feeling inside that Trackhouse garage. New sponsors, or same sponsors, but back on again for the Asian Racing Golf.
Yeah, there's not like your teammate getting a win just to make you think, I tell you what, this bike is working pretty good. I think I'm going to have a... I want my name up there. So you can imagine extra motivation. Not that Ayagura needs it, but
no,
it's not quite like your teammate winning. You thinking, right, all right, I better pull my finger out.
Let's see if he does. Right. Talking of Japanese now, let's head down to pit lane where the HRC test rider Pol Espargaro is here this weekend, and that is with him.
Yeah, it's great to see you here, Aleix, and I'm sure it's a welcome sight for you to see Joan Mir and Luca Marini up in the top 5 at the moment.
Yeah, very happy. Really, I came many times during the last month here in Malaysia to test, and I will be testing next week, so I just anticipate my flight to be with the team and to support Joan and Luca. They are doing a great job, and yeah, you can tell, I mean, they are having fun, and especially Joan is very strong, looks very strong here.
As you say, you were here for the shakedown at the start of the season. You've had a private test and another one coming up. How have you seen Honda develop and change from the start of this year?
I mean, that the progress we've done is amazing. At the beginning of the season, especially the first test I did in the winter, were like a bit of chaos. Everybody had different bikes, different material. Once we put everything together and we start to work on the right direction, step by step, the results arrive. And every time you see small progress for the rider mentality, for the rider feeling, you know, it's always very positive. And you can see how aggressive Joanna look at riding, how ambitious they are, because they can see that the project is going on a new dimension. So I'm very happy.
And just taking your Honda hat off for a minute, how impressed have you been with Pol for these last two rounds so far?
Yeah, I mean, Pol's talent is out of doubt for sure. He struggled a lot mentally and physically after the injury, so for him this is like a present. He didn't decide really to retire as I did. He still have in mind that he can be on top of the world fighting with the best riders, and actually he's proving it. So I'm very happy, you know, to see your brother happy, enjoying life is the best thing ever. So hopefully Maverick can come back soon. But yeah, I hope KTM next year can give him more wildcards.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Nat. Yeah, when you said then, when Nat said, take your Honda hat off for the moment, I thought she was going to ask him about Aprilia. I guess I'd love to hear what the captain says about Aprilia's progress this season, because obviously he's been a big part of Honda's progress. Look at the rubber starting to be laid down now as they attack down into the final corner. A proud big brother of what Pol is doing. He's top KTM in 11th at the moment, ahead of this man. But he didn't say too much there, did he? Said a lot without saying too much, Michael. But it's so encouraging to see. And the fact that they have been here in testing will give them a really good base for the start of the weekend. But, you know, that's gone, isn't it? That any advantage you got there after the first couple of sessions. So, but if you start the weekend like this, it means the rest of your weekend you can build on.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not playing catch-up, you're not trying to get the base. Mapping in terms of electronics, the traction control, anti-wheelie, engine braking, corner entry settings, all take time. You dial those in as your weekend progresses, and they've started with a good platform from the work that's been done in the recent months. Pol Espargaro always does seem to turn up here. I see him here quite often on his Instagram feed, so I think Honda booked out Sepang on a number of occasions. But yeah, hard work going in to give them the platform to develop that bike. And Joan Mir, not only second in the timesheets, but second in the speed traps around here, which this is a horsepower track with all these straights and a long run to the actual top speed zone at 336 kilometers per hour.
Ayagura improves again this time. He had an identical lap time to Zarco. Now he goes ahead and up into 8th place. You like to see it, don't you? The other side of the Trackhouse Aprilia garage.
Davide Brivio last weekend. How confident does he sound about Ayagura and what we're going to see from him in the future? They've big belief in Ayagura.
Alex Rins, rear stepping out up towards turn 4, I was going to say. Challenges you, this track. Runs fast through turn. Oh, there we are. There we are. That's why.
That'll be it for lap time.
That's why you needed to get your lap in. Ayagura could have sealed himself passage through to Q2 here. As he Johan Zarco, 3 Hondas through.
Also,
yeah, for context, the rain flags have gone out. So with 24 minutes to go, it sets with Aldeguer, Mia, Bagnaia, Digentonio, Marini, Alex Marquez, Bezecchi, Ayagura, Quartararo and Zarco inside that top 10. But the track could still change as Rins goes up to 5th, 120, 158, 691.
And Max Bartolini down there just watching on. As Acosta's come back in. He finds himself out of the top 10. He didn't seem that concerned.
Fernandez is on a decent lap, only 1.5 seconds off. I mean, obviously he's not going to be in the top 10, but I'm just talking about the fact that he's on this brand new project. That looked better out there then, actually. Didn't look like it was bobbing around as much.
Yeah, and up to 19.
1.7 off.
So maybe whatever it was, there was a definite... There's a definite issue, isn't there, with the ride height and how it all interacts and everything.
Fabio's going to have to go out now with a new tyre on.
A few of them are, aren't they? it forces your hand.
Yeah.
You cannot be left and caught out napping. Marco Bezzecchi, that's not a new tyre.
No, you'd think, like, Bezzecchi's down in 8th.
It seemed that could, unless he was changing that. I looked like he was...
Yeah, I think they're pulling it out there.
Pulling it out, yeah. I think it might have been about to go out and then thinking, look, he's in 8th. You can't risk it.
You can't risk it.
Here we go. Bagnaia has been told a bike change here. Box call, bike change. And I think that's because of the conditions. Does he have like a qualifying bike and a racing bike or something at the moment? I know, there's like one-on-one, isn't it? It's so strange what's going on.
Right, here goes Zarco. Set a new tyres on. Full attack mode. Makes you wonder where his confidence is at, Zarco. I mean, he has crashed so many times.
That one at turn 1 in Phillip Island.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's crash number...
Was it 30?
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah. Too
brain mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, 29 it was, 29,
yeah.
apologies.
And even more so when you're his age.
Yeah.
When you get to...
A veteran.
Yeah, a veteran. You know young rookies are going to risk everything and throw it down the road, but...
Oh, that was... the bike was protesting in there. It's because he's right on the money. And it's putting his compatriot at risk. Down into turn 9.
Talk about how your weekend could go one way or the other. You could be 30 seconds away from a downpour and no one's improving their lap times.
You've just got to go for it now. Third split coming up just in the little float towards turn 14. It's just making weird shapes at the moment, but that's because he's pushing so hard. Down the back straight for Johan Zarco. Could he have timed this one to perfection? Lots of activity of people leaving pit lane. 21 minutes remaining. Rain forecast. White flag with a red cross has been shown at one point in this session as Johan Zarco sets the fastest lap of the day.
1:58.129 for Zarco. Goes straight to the top. That pushes Quartararo outside of the top 10. That bubble was quite a bit. So there's still some traction there as through turn 6, 7, then into the back of 8 and 9. Quartararo is on the lap tack.
Again.
Won a title here in Moto 2. There's 2 MotoGP podiums here already as well. That's Sepang. In 17 and 18. On board with Fabio Quartararo responding. Get a French 1 and 2 in a minute. Oh, big slide for Quartararo out of turn 9. Surely that has to affect his lap time. Down through 12. Flick over, wrench the bike over 13 in the third split. He's still under. That's remarkable considering, look, well out of shape out of turn 9.
Yeah, on the limit here. Let's see what he can do. 2 long straights, though. Unfortunately, this isn't Yamaha's forte. The Honda a little stronger in top speed as you run down here in 6th gear. Back down the box to 2nd for the final corner. Let's see, the Honda perhaps will gain back a little bit here with Johan Zarco's prowess.
Over the line comes Fabio Quartararo and goes up into first position with a 1:58.113. Remarkable good time as you break downhill in towards the first corner. Just keep the acceleration through. Bring up the throttle as you switch back over to turn 2. Pedro Costa comes out of the pit lane and down goes Alex Marquez in the first sector with a yellow flag out.
Isn't it weird how his season's sort of like, it's not fallen apart, but from him being so consistent the first, what was it, 6, 7, 8 rounds, finishing 2nd to his brother on all those occasions, and just making lots of mistakes.
Was his first flyer, by
yeah, first flyer, and it's basically the left-hand side of the tyre, front tyre, it'll be on a new front, not fully scrubbed. like I say, it's a horrible corner, that turn 2, downhill, off camber.
It's such a long track, isn't it, as well, though, that really it's your first flyer is often the one that counts.
Yeah.
Because by lap 2, by the end of lap 2, your tyres, the edge is gone. Right, with our latest MotoGP winner then. Well, Fernandez looking to sneak inside the top 10. Miguel Oliveira, of course, got his last home GP for now, shall we say. Next time he goes up to 13th. Marco Bezzecchi is the one in peril here. Oh, this could be fascinating.
There should be enough to get Fernandez in the top 10, and that'll push Bezzecchi out.
And he pushed Bezzecchi out. So the rain falls now.
Yeah.
Bez gone out. Yeah, Bez is on a just started a lap, but he's a 10th off in the first sector. KTMs are struggling. Pol Espargaro is still your top KTM, down in 13th. And he's on a lap. Here is Pol behind Digi. Look at that from Espargaro. Showing just what he's capable of. Oh, got the bat wings on.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them for a while.
No.
Look at that, a new one.
Yeah,
actually.
new version on the back of the...
Hang on, is there a bat wing on the bat wing?
Yeah. It's got a little step.
I'm sure they're just doing it to wind us up now.
He's on a good lap, though. As are quite a few of the riders. Mia's on a good one. Morbidelli.
Bezzecchi is.
Yeah, Paul's got the perfect marker there with Digi in front in the braking zone.
Yeah, got over the danger point then. I had to hold my breath for a moment for Pol Espargaro. Currently in 13th. Alex Marquez is about to get knocked out of the top 10 as Pol goes 5th. Chantra went 19th. Here we go with Bez to the line, up into 5th place. We'll just watch Frankie Morbidelli and Morbidelli look a little bit deep in that final corner, a lot deep, not choosing to go over the top of the camber. As that, yeah, his lap time dropped off significantly because of that, but he still goes 8th. We'll just watch Joan Mir come across now. He's in the final corner, and then we'll switch down to pit lane where Akiayo is waiting with Nat. Joan Mir goes or stays 4th, improves his lap time. But KTM's finding going tough. Let's see what Aki's got to say to Nat.
Yeah, Aki, Pol, the leading KTM at the moment, both Pedro and Brad out of the top 10, and we're keeping a close eye on the dark skies that are coming across. What are they both saying to you?
Of course, let's say challenging way, and challenging day, and now seems that it starts a little bit rain again. So we started like in the Giro in the afternoon because in the morning was not any information, just dry few dry laps and in let's say not grippy conditions in the beginning. So and let's see how it is now with the weather in the end. So not too much to say yet. It's just building the base, but difficult to understand yet where we are.
Thank you, Aki.
Thanks a lot.
And it has started raining. You can see from Alex Marquez's bike there. Pedro Costa just snuck into 6th as we were with Akiayo down there, and that's it. That's the session going to be done. Suddenly everyone who's out on the racetrack is slowing down. So, going straight through to Q2, Pecco Bagnaia has been lucky there. He was out on the racetrack, but unable to improve his time from earlier, but he's going to cling on, and then not going through. Di Gian Antonio, Rins, Marini, Alex Marquez, Agura, Oliveira, and then it's Bastianini, Miller, Chantra, Sava, Piro, Fernandez, and Brad Binder at the back of the field. Really, really struggling.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with Brad there. He set his best on his first flying lap of the session, and that was only a 2 minutes, 0.2. A long way off for him, 2.1 seconds down. Unusual, but yeah, unfortunately for him, he's not been able to get a lap time in, so the rain looks significant on the screen of the Rossini Ducati there as Alex was coming down pit lane.
Yeah, told, is raining. And so that will be that. Some lucky people, some unfortunate people. It's just the way it is. Morbidelli messed up the last corner and still got himself directly through into Q2 at the expense of his teammate.
Still a chance. There is still a chance.
I suppose.
I just then went up, but I just popped my head out just to double check, and it's that it's in the air. But there's a bit of wind, unless it absolutely pours.
I'm just going by the fact that everyone out on track was 20 seconds down.
You'll have to see pictures because
we haven't seen any. That's the thing. We still haven't seen a shot of the rain.
Yeah, just outside then, just here by the commentary box, which is that bang in the middle of the track. It looks like a bit of mental rain. I'm sure, don't get me wrong, it's obviously maybe slightly damp on one of the corners. There still might be a chance. With 12 minutes to go.
Bezzecchi will count his lucky stars there. Well, they made the decision at the right point to go out and do the lap. That's, you know, that is an element of fortune.
But you can see it, that's in pit lane, look. Believe it or not, though, that's still not wetting the floor.
Yeah.
Because it's just evaporating as soon as it touches the hot tarmac.
A little bit more, though. It's just with the humidity, isn't it?
Yeah.
How it just makes that greasy feeling. Let's see what we've got. 12 minutes of silence. Falls over.
And look who sits in 10th as well. It's like, it's just like, of course, Bagnaia sits in 10th just to add stress for him.
Quartararo it is who's fastest, Zarco second, Aldeguer third. Aldeguer's the one who's consistently shown. Joan Mir's been good, hasn't he, as well, from morning to afternoon. Keep an eye out for him. And then Bez Acosta recovered it right. I think Acosta did it there with rain falling. It was just as we were speaking to Akiayo. Pol Espargaro is the huge surprise. Then Raul Fernandez, Frankie Morbidelli, and Pecco Bagnaia rounding out the 10.
Tell you what, just looking at the way today's gone, pick your podium for tomorrow.
No.
It's like such a tough call. I mean, Aldeguer's probably got the strongest pace, you'd have to say. But apart from that, like the man, my favourite, this man has not been that impressive, has he?
2 crashes.
Yeah.
Including that one we've just seen at turn 2. Yeah, top 10 covered by half a second. And we're just waiting to see if there's any possibility of someone having a go right at the last moment, perhaps, of this session.
Yeah, because we know it does. That little bit of mental rain, like I say, it will evaporate quickly.
Because it's been warm.
Yeah.
Okay, it might not be up to usual standards here, but with the sun being out this early afternoon.
This is where, when you're in the top, you sat in the top 10 now, there's 10 minutes to go, you're just like, just rain. Just rain. Please rain.
25th birthday for the number 25 yesterday. New haircut to boot. There he is, Raul Fernandez. Who'd have thought it at the start, the way the start of the season was. Injury for him, remember, right at the very start. Missed out on testing here. Yeah, the sun's out.
It's so Malaysia, isn't it? Sun could be out, it could be absolutely pouring down on one of the corners.
Yeah, we haven't had any shots of any corners to know where it might be. Look how dark
at that. Yeah, that's... Is that coming over? Well, we'll find out.
If that comes over, your lap's done, Neil.
Lap's done. I love this track, though. There you go, you can see it, look, it's just still in the air.
Yeah, but the surface will have been around 50 degrees. And so as soon as the fine rain hits, then it evaporates. But enough of it.
You know, sometimes you've just got to commit, Gav.
Yeah, I don't know why they just don't get out there.
And like if you're going fast enough, you generate enough heat in the tyres.
Yeah.
Just force it.
So are you going out for your, if it's like this, for your BMW lap later?
Absolutely not.
With road tyres on, have you got?
The coward that is.
What tyres do you have on?
I'm like looking to the distance. I think it might be raining somewhere in the world, so we better not do it.
Yeah, Alex is ready, isn't he?
I've got, do you know what I run on it? On the hand-cut slicks. Yeah.
You cut them yourself, do you?
I got my dad to do.
The sun's out, so
here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Someone's going.
Is that
Digi? I think he had to.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah.
It feels like he has to. Yeah.
It was on an out lap with fresh tyres as the rain fell, so these won't be brand new.
And Alex realises, oh, I'm going to have to do the same here. Oh, just what you want, isn't it? Voyage into the unknown.
He basically has no. Both these riders have no choice. They have to go out to have a look. Because if you sit where you are, you're going through qualifying one, and we know how difficult that is.
You don't learn anything, do you? Sat in your garage. Pecco Bagnaia is praying that more rain comes and comes quickly. He's got 2 minutes really, or 3. Morbidelli's in 9th. Riders safe. Quartararo, Zarco.
Yeah,
you'd say.
Aldeguer, Mir.
Yeah.
They're definitely safe. Your top 4.
Electra Vince is having a go.
Yeah, from those back, Bezzecchi. Yeah, I would say if it's dry, everyone's going to hold their breath.
You know, when you were talking about the timing before, and there's timing now, isn't there? There's a lot of luck plays a role in racing. See there the white, the red cross and the white background on the LED panel as he rode around turn 5. So I feel like rain's still falling there. That flag now means rain falling in this sector. Marshals who decide. So pretty much everyone's going out there. Pol's cost himself another good marker with Bez in front of him.
He was always good at that.
Now you can see the looming grey clouds out to the left towards the airport. Well, we're going to get an idea now if Alex feels it's all worth it, if it's safe enough. Yeah, I think with the sun there, that will be encouragement for him. See how tentative he still is, though, in the final corner. Can any of us blame a rider in this situation?
Especially a rider who's had 2 crashes already today. One of them a fast one.
He's going for it.
But there's nothing on his, if you look at his screen, he's not, there's no drizzle.
Twitch down into turn 1. This is where he's just crashed. You see the flick here from right to left. Then you're wrenching it back over onto the right. He's through safely on this occasion. First split comes through the hollow here, through turn 3. Great corner. And he's on a personal best.
Fair play to him. Fair play. That takes some doing.
Jack Miller also first sector on a personal best.
It's hard when you come up through here and you look at the LED panel, if it's still showing a red and white cross. You just have to go in with almost blind faith and hope that it's going to stick underneath you.
Yeah, Jack's lost 2.5 seconds, though, in this sector. Yeah, and there is rain.
Spots.
There is rain. But Alex is still under.
You can see the 2 orange lights in his dash. That tells him personal best.
Wow.
He's going to have to keep pushing.
Round 9 into 10. You've got to just trust, haven't you? Third split comes up here, and it's Pecco Bagnaia at risk. and he's still on a personal best. This will put Alex Marquez inside the top 10. This is some recovery. So where I was saying it was done, Neil was absolutely spot on.
Pedro Acosta's on one, halfway around the lap.
Yeah, lots of people. Luca Marini, who's outside, first couple of sectors in red. Pol Espargaro, first couple of sectors in red. But in orange, all the way through, Alex Marquez to the line now, goes third. Good recovery, considering what he's been through today. Now Pedro Acosta, should I say, on the back straight. You'd say
it's going to be all changed.
Yeah.
So many red indicators and
so
personal bests.
Maybe even Aldeguer wasn't safe.
I was just thinking that, actually. The fact the man
look at Rins and look at Marini.
Bagnaya's on the lap as well.
There's a yellow flag. Someone's gone down. Frankie Morbidelli, red indicator. Pedro Acosta goes top with a 1:57.5. Wow. Fastest lap by far today. It's Augusto Fernandez who's crashed. And he was on the part of the racetrack where Quartararo was coming through. Frankie Morbidelli went second. So even now, Johan Zarco's down to fifth because Rins went ahead of him. Luca Marini to the line. He's going to go top 10. Bagnaia desperately needs this lap now. Marco Bezzecchi is outside the 10 as things stand.
Aldeguer's about to get into the danger zone now with this one. Oh, Pecco only 11.
Only 11 for Pecco with 1 lap remaining because there was 1:54 on the clock. So Pecco needs to make this count. It looks okay, actually. It was that kind of shape that he's been throwing this year where it hasn't worked, but he brought it down to the apex. Here's Zarco looking to go back to the top. Marquez going once more. Yellow flags have taken away a couple of laps.
And Aldeguer's in 9th as it stands, who we thought was safe 4 minutes ago.
Zarco having to go again. Jack Miller is under through the 3rd split.
Yeah, it was currently 19.
This is a remarkable end to practice here as Johan Zarco goes second. Mir had briefly gone second. In front of him now, Miller into 3rd. Out of nowhere, Jack Miller with a minute on the clock.
Aldeguer's 12th.
Alex Marquez into 7th now. Luca Marini finds himself outside. Bagnaia finds himself outside once more. There is less than a minute remaining. I don't think that's going to be enough for Bagnaia here. Down into turn 9.
Now, I'm of the same opinion. I don't think Bagnaia's going to find the traction. He's 89 thousandths of a second off the pace at the moment. There's still some things to be considered. Red sector times coming in for Miller, Mir, Morbidelli and Quartararo, Marini, Aldeguer. Bagnaia's only got 1. So is Bezzecchi, and then Ayagura and even Binder. Out of the last corner then. Onto the line comes Fermin Aldeguer. He's the first one over the line. Does he break into the top 10? No. Marini doesn't, 11th. Bezzecchi, 14th, doesn't improve. Waiting for Bagnaia. Next across the line, Oliveira goes 17th. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia. Does he break through for 13th? Over the line. Only goes 12th fastest with the checker flag out. He's the first one to meet that flag. So Bagnaia will have to go through qualifying 1 again. Rain coming down. Ayagura 20th. Only goes 14th. Quartararo 8th fastest. A 10th and a half up at the moment. Over the line he comes now. Is that going to be P1? The yellow flag out sector 2. Quartararo goes 5th. 1:57.868. Juan Mir. Last 2 corners coming up. But yellow flag out in the 2nd sector. Can't tell who it's for. I think it's Alex Rins. It is Alex Rins who's crashed. Mir goes 4th. 1:57.918. Digi goes 6th. So out goes Marini. Yellow flag for Rins, who's gone down in the 2nd sector. Yeah, there we go. So that'll spoil everybody else's lap time. Pedro Costa looks like he's gone on top here. Can't find anybody else improving. Morbidelli's slow in the 4th sector, so he's back off anyway. He was through that yellow sector too. So I think that might be it.
What about Jorge Martin crashing out of the lead?
Yeah.
In a race here.
Aldeguer's losing it all in that 3rd sector.
So what was looking like a brilliant Friday for Fermin Aldeguer has now turned in all likelihood, that he's going to go in a Q1 alongside Luca Marini, Pecco Bagnaia and Marco Bezzecchi and Raul Fernandez.
Sounds easy.
Yeah.
And tomorrow morning the weather looks all right, doesn't it? I can't remember it happens in the afternoon.
No, I think the rain in the morning, sun all through the afternoon.
So wet qualifying.
Well,
could be.
You just can't predict it, can you?
No, you can't.
So winners of the last 3 GPs, all the through Q1 tomorrow. Bagnaia, Aldeguer and Fernandez.
Unreal.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. We've had 5 different winners in the last 5 races, of course. Alex Marquez, Marc Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, and then the 2 wildcards in Aldeguer and Fernandez. I've just been told in my ear that one of the riders, former riders, sat alongside me here, predicted a podium in the long race of Pedro Acosta, Johan Zarco and Jack Miller. Who's going to own up to that? Which of my colleagues was it? Neil Hodgson. The fact that you haven't tried to claim it suggests...
I can't remember who I said.
It was Michael.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Didn't want to jump in there, but yeah.
He was basically letting you,
as well.
letting you hoist your own petard there, and you didn't go for it, which is slightly disappointing.
Yeah.
But you went for Acosta, Zarco, Miller, Michael. That's our 1, 2, 3 in practice today.
Yeah. If you know, you know, Michael.
Well, actually, I didn't. Oh, we talked about this morning. Susie's session. Sorry, I went for Alex Marquez, Zarco, Miller, but that was for wet weather race in the sprint.
Right.
If it had been for a dry, I probably would have said
Acosta, Zarco. Yeah, well,
and I couldn't remember what I'd said.
That sounds like a Neil Hodgson excuse.
Yeah, it does.
Well, he's had a better day. I know, obviously, that's not worked out, but he's definitely had a better day.
Bike's still wobbling. It just now puts you in that unknown of Q1. Look at Jack Miller. After the backing up Australia, he is delighted with that, isn't he? Sticking it up on the front row there. 4th in the sprint. Finding going tough here this morning with a spill, and then somehow finds it through as top Yamaha. And again, no Ducati in the top 5. Second race in a row that we've had that, isn't it? In our practice session. Alex Marquez, good recovery job that, wasn't it?
Superb.
At that point.
So we don't have fuel.
So, I think Jack had this earlier.
A long walk back in the heat.
So it's Acosta, Zarco, Miller, Mia, Quartararo, Di Giannantonio, Morbidelli, Pol Espargaro, Marquez and Rins, your top 10 automatically through. We will be back tomorrow for all the action from qualifying and practice 2 across JB Motorsports 2 and JB Motorsports. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.